Well, the time cut out on the previous video where I was talking about the tactics of the psychopath. How they always decide what game to play. They say, we play by my rules, we play my game. And if the rules don't suit me at any time, the rules that I made up cease at any moment to suit me personally, I reserve the right to say they're invalid and make up new rules that do suit me. And this is what they do, and they do it. They seem to be born knowing how to do this. They do it as little children, and you see them growing up. So this is what Morano, Lie, and Cuss did. He starts the bullying campaign. He starts the fuck off mono campaign, trying to drive somebody off the board with his bullying. Then he denies that he was the instigator. But when he leaves for a little less than a week, it becomes evident that he really was. Because in his absence, the whole witch hunt dies down until his dumb bitch assistant comes back. And they notice that Mono and Trish both deactivated at the same time. On the same day, they both deactivated with no announcement of why. No statement from either one of, oh, you know what, I'm leaving there, I'm quitting, I'm taking time off. Just all of a sudden, the two of them just slipped out of the room. And a few days later, Trish comes back, and in the few days that this from the time that they left, the whole witch hunt thing died down. Nobody was accusing unassuming guy of being swirly anymore until Trish comes back, and then she fans the flames again. It all comes back. Fuck off swirly, fuck off swirly. And then a couple of days later, Morano, Lie, and Cuss returns, and the whole thing is a fully fledged flame of witch hunt again, in the presence of Morano like us, and he takes up where he left off, he's back to the fuck off swirly thing, fuck off swirly, and again he finds that doesn't succeed. He's not vanquishing unassuming guy by these bullying tactics. So what does he do then? As the accomplished psychopathic manipulator that he is, he turns around and he plays the nice guy, the reasonable guy. I'm just doing this for your benefit, out of concern for your mental health, because I noticed you sound a bit psychotic. You know, just like all of the psychopaths who manage, they start their childhood out as psychopathic manipulators who know how to decide the game, make up the rules, change the rules as it suits them. Who grow up, a certain number of them grow up to be psychiatrists or psychologists, who become the heads of psych wards and go around saying, "Oh well, I'm the sane one. I'm the head of sanity here. Everyone else here is insane, and I determine who gets put on medication and who gets locked up in solitary and who gets strapped in the straitjacket, because I am the arbiter of sanity here." Again, look up actual studies that have been done, legitimate studies that have been done on the profiles of the psychopathic psyche and the psychopathic mindset and the psychopathic behavior patterns. The behavior patterns of psychopaths. And this is, you will see, many of them fit this image of there are psychopathic shrinks and heads of mental institutions who wield this kind of power. It's about wielding power, being in control. Not being in control of yourself, being in control of everyone else by being an accomplished manipulator of all situations, of constantly stacking the deck and turning everything so that heads I win and tails you lose. It's stacked so that the psychopath, no matter what you do, it's a checkmate. No matter what you do, you can't move. You move to the left, you lose for this reason. You move to the right, nothing you can do. It's constantly checkmate. This is what psychopaths are good at doing. They're good at setting up a checkmate situation. So this is what Morano. So that's what he does. So then he finds he's still not succeeding with his fuck off Swirly. The so-called Swirly, the alleged Swirly, the victim, the target of his false accusations, is not caving in. So he needs to. The psychopath needs to find a new tactic, which he does because that's what they're so good at doing. His new tactic is, look at me being Mr. Reasonable, only concerned about your mental health. You seem to be acting a little bit crazy, don't you? After he was the one causing the whole situation. Well, I'm going to tell you that this unassuming guy was not acting crazy. The unassuming guy was reacting, standing up to the bullying. And that may appear to many people, especially onlookers, especially this seemingly impartial onlookers, that the person being bullied is the one acting crazy, and the other one, this is another very, very successful bullying tactic, is to pretend that you're the one being reasonable while you keep driving the person to react in a way that makes them appear to people who don't know what's going on like they're the crazy person because they're reacting. And I'm just, look at me, I'm just standing here mildly and calmly. I'm not the crazy one. Look at me behaving mildly and in a dignified manner, and I'm not acting out. This person's acting out. Well, that person's acting out because they are defending themselves against your manipulative, psychopathic behaviors. But that's another main feature of the psychopathic manipulators, is that they manage to do it in these underhanded, subtle ways that aren't blatantly obvious to most casual onlookers. And it's set up in this heads I win, tails you lose situation, because after having failed to bully a person, after having failed to drive a person off the terrain of whatever the circumstances, directly by the bullying, because the person stood up to the bully, then you turn around and do this other tactic where, oh, I'm just concerned for your mental health. Thank you very much, Dr. Monolycus. Dr. Mononucleosis. Thank you very much. And it's situated, and you see, it's set up so that, look, if he stays and continues to react to my bullying, manipulative, psychopathic tactics, then what happens is the psychopath gets to feed off the negative energy. Definitely feeding off the negative energy is what they're all about. And the longer you stay, the longer they feed off of it, like flies feeding off a pile of shit. But if you see through that, you see through the fact that they're just a fly feeding off your negative, they're just feeding off your negative energy, your negative reactions to their bullying the way a fly feeds off a pile of shit. Then they set it up so that if you do realize this and decide, I'm not even going to give these bastards the benefit of my emotional energy or my time, and I am going to leave. They set it up in this heads I win, tails you lose situation where, he left because I told him to leave. I told him that in this reasonable way for his own mental health, and he realized that I was right. See, I was the reasonable one after all, because even he had to finally acknowledge that I was the one merely looking out for his own best interests. I was the one giving him the really good advice. And now that he's gone, you see, I'm the king of the hill again. I'm the king of this little shit pile that all you flies are buzzing around. And you will all look up to me with renewed respect because see how reasonable I was, and I only cared. I wasn't the bully. Psychopathic manipulative behaviors. So it's a checkmate situation. Heads you win, tails you lose, because if you stay, they feed off your negative energy. They continue to bully. If you go, they claim credit for having vanquished you, or even worse, credit for having given you reasonable, compassionate advice that was only meant for your own benefit. So they pass themselves off as the compassionate, concerned person who never meant anyone any harm, rather than the manipulative, psychopathic bully that they actually are. So it's a set-up checkmate situation, manipulated. I create the rules. Anytime they don't suit me, I change the rules to suit me. I come out winning no matter what. Now you laugh about Charlie Sheen. You see, monolycus is not bi. Don't call mononucleosis a bimo or bisexual. No. Mononucleosis isn't bisexual. He's bi-winning. You see? That's what it's all about. He's bi-winning. No matter what happens, he claims success. He claims that mono wins. Mono vanquished Swirly. Mono vanquished Swirly is what he claims. He claims a victory no matter what circumstances happen. And I really despise this, and I really despise the dimness of the people who do not recognize, you morons incapable of recognizing why it is wrong to give in to kidnappers, why it is wrong to give in to terrorists. And this is what mononucleosis is: bullying terrorists of the board, holding this board hostage, and you don't want to realize it. And that his demands for you must give in to, I make an accusation, an unfounded accusation, as the accuser, I am not obligated to substantiate my accusations. The burden of proof is on the accused to substantiate their proof, and I was completely reasonable. I gave you the opportunity to exonerate yourself, to prove that the accusations were untrue. Now you need to understand that an accuser needs to be the one with the burden of proof. If you've got a claim, you've got an accusation, you've got a grievance, it's up to you. You have to provide some basis of fact for your accusation. You can't go around making wild, unfounded accusations and presume the right to stand there with impunity making these false accusations as if you were somehow the righteous one. And You dim bulbs, all of you, incapable of recognizing that giving in to these kind of terrorist bullying tactics create a society in which there is no due process of law, there is no justice, and yet you fuckers go around saying, look, I believe in justice. I posted the 13th comment. Oh,